Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Now firstly, I just want to apologise for the slightly extended absence off my YouTube channel. Basically I was away on holiday for a week, and then the following week after that I was down in Manchester to see this concert which I'm going to be talking about today. So I had the pleasure of seeing Heaton and Jacqui Abbott at Stockport Edgeley Park. So in this video I'll just be doing a quick review of the concert. So yeah, last week they put on two special shows performing Paul's recent Last King of Pop compilation album in full. These gigs were announced about a year ago, before I was really into Paul Heaton, before I knew who he was, to be honest. And the Friday night sold out pretty much instantly. They announced the Thursday night, which is the one which I ended up going to. But because again the last couple of months I have become such a big fan of Paul Heaton, I thought that I would try and get tickets very affordable. It was £33 each, which is very reasonable, considering some concert tickets usually go for about £60 plus nowadays. Additionally, these are Heaton's only UK gigs this year, so I thought it would be a good opportunity to see him live, doing all his most well-known songs, which made it onto the compilation album. So the venue, as I said, was Stockport County's football club's ground, at Edgeley Park. Quite an odd place for a concert. I don't think they do too many gigs there, to be honest. It was a sort of a smallish football stadium thing, not really well located in terms of public transport connectivity and that. I had to drive through, I went to the concert with my granddad, so we thought it'd be most convenient to drive through. However, there wasn't too much parking around at the venue. It was more it was just a residential area really. But still we got there in good time, early afternoon, and did find a parking space. So we were waiting around for a little bit. It was about the doors opened at 5:30, and the other thing with this concert as well was it was all unallocated seating. Basically you had the pitch, which was sort of standing, which I would have gone in if I was with maybe my dad or some of my mates. However, with my granddad, we decided it would be best just to sit, and basically it was all unreserved, so you had to get there early to get the good seats. So we were slightly off to one side, quite close to the stage, as close as you could get really, without being at a really awkward angle to the stage. So the support act for the concert was Richard Hawley, who I am semi-familiar with his music. A good friend James Lobban is a big fan of his. So he was quite excited that when he found out that he was supporting Paul Heaton, and James did buy me Richard Hawley's latest record called Further. So it was a good choice for a support act there. I did get a couple of clips from his set. So yeah, I thought he played and sang really well. I would say his set was about 40 minutes long, and covered most of his well-known numbers. I would reckon though most of the crowd didn't really know who he was. He's certainly not a big household name in the UK. However, I would suspect that he did make a few more fans the night off at the concert, because he did perform really well. But anyway, everyone was there for Paul Heaton and Jacqui Abbott, so I've just got a couple of clips from their set.
Give me someone or I'll turn to the Lord. I gotta breathe. we write them down just in case it should die. Take a look at these crosswinds of smoke sitting on the prettiest eyes. 60-25th of December, 59 4th of Julys. Not through the age of the failure children, not through the head of the spiders. Take a good look at these crow's feet. so many songs about you. I forget your name, I forget your name. Jennifer, Allison, Philippa Sue, Deborah, Annabelle too. I forget your name. Jennifer, Allison, Philippa Sue, Deborah, Annabelle too. I forget your name.
So that was a couple of clips. Like as you can see there, like we weren't like seated like too far like away, like whether like it was still like it would have been nice. It would have been nice to like be like a bit closer. Like again, like I'm hoping to see like Paul Heaton like again, like maybe like in like more like intimate venue, like maybe like next year like or something. But anyway, the set list, they done 24 songs, so they've done 23 tracks from the compilation album, like not like in like the order like off like sequence, plus one more like unreleased song, like which we will like discuss like in a bit. So anyway, it opened up with Old Red Eyes Is Back, classic beautiful sound song. They done Me and the Farmer, which was a House Martin single, and this one's quite interesting. Like he does this one live, like he plays a bit of guitar like on like this one, like which is quite an odd. It is quite odd seeing like Paul Heaton like playing like a guitar. Like it's not like it's like same sort of thing like if I see at Morrissey like or like Ian Brown like playing the guitar. Just doesn't quite look right. However, like he does it like on like this song here, like he does sort of like the introduction riff, like which is quite like an easy riff, like to be honest. Like but yeah, still like a good like sort of like follow-up song there, like one which most people do. Then they've done Moulding Off a Fool, which is one of their more recent solo songs, I think from the first Paul and Jacqui album, and like yeah, like a really good track there. And then I Got a Praise, which is which is the opening track on the last King of Pop. Jacqui sings the song really, really well. Yeah, like just a really great like upbeat track. Then they done House Martin's single Build, which I think was the final House Martin single, like or like one like the last ones. And I must say, Paul Heaton's voice on this song is just absolutely stunning. Like he hasn't lost his voice at all. Like he's still got like that sort of like their very wonderful like rich voice. Like yeah, like it's almost like when like he does this song, like you can't like sort of tell like it's like more like recent. Like you could sort of like close out your eyes and like think he's in like 1987 like singing it. His voice has really held up very well. And then we got one of my personal favourite like Paul and Jacqui songs, which is I Don't See Them, which is from Wisdom, Laughter and Lines. Yeah, a really great song there. And then a DIY, which was from the first album. Not one of my favourite like songs like off there. It's a bit sort of like country, like Americana like sort of style like on this one here. Like yeah, like not one of like my favourite songs, like, but like a good song like live though. Like it sort of like gets like the crowd like singing along a little bit. So yeah, that song is quite good. And then we got another beautiful South song, classic, Prettiest Eyes, which yeah, like a wonderful song there. Like they maybe slightly speed this one up a little bit too much, like in concert. Like they sort of like they play this one like a little bit faster than the original version. Like, but still, Heaton sings it really well. Like he said like before this song, like it's like at like the time like he was writing like about sort of like older people. Like of course this song like is about like a couple like sort of like growing older, and like it was, and I think it's funny to him like how like he'd now reached that age and like was still singing like these songs. So yeah, like there was that one. And then he done Rotterdam or Anywhere, classic beautiful sound song. This was the first song, like this was the first track where like really got like the crowd going, like everyone like knew the song. Like a big like it's a sort of like a football like kind of song like nowadays. Like I think like I think like some football clubs like sort of like sing this song like it's their sort of like club song and that. So yeah, like this one like quite a crowd pleasing track. Then they done their 7-inch singles, which is the exclusive track on the last King of Pop. Really good song, I think. Like name checks a lot of like famous musicians like from like throughout the years. So yeah, that one like was another like good track. And then they done The Austerity of Love, which is also like a reggae like sort of like infused song. Again, like another like Paul and Jacqui like number. But like yeah, like I really love like how they have sort of like weaved like the more sort of like recent tracks like in with like their sort of like classic beautiful South and House Martin singles. And then we got what Heaton said was the oldest song of the night, and I made like quite a funny like sort of like anecdote about like asking people like how many people like had like bought like the single. Like loads of people like raised their hands like, and he's like, it can't be that many. I only got to like number 123. Like so yeah, like he sort of like made everyone, he's like, be honest now. It's like be honest, like who bought like the single like on release. But anyway, like it was Flag Day, and yeah, a really great song this one here. I must note as well, like by this point a brass section like had come out, like which I think is quite a new addition to their live lineup. Like I've got a DVD like of them performing in 2015 or 2016, and they didn't have the brass section. Like whereas I do think it really adds a lot to the live experience, because a lot of like the beautiful sound songs, they were very brass heavy songs. So they do like a great job like on like Flag Day, like sort of like augmenting like the arrangement really well. And then we get a song called Real Hope, which I think was on the first Paul and Jacqui album. Not one of my favourite songs like off theirs, to be honest with you. It's probably my least favourite track, what made it onto the compilation album. Like, didn't really work well live, like for me, like a little bit like sort of like puzzling choice, that one. But then the next song more than made up for it, which was the Beautiful South's track Manchester, especially because the concert like was taken like not too far away from Manchester, like this one, like the crowd really liked this one here, like wonderful song there, I think. And then one of my favourite Paul and Jacqui songs from the last album, Crooked Calypso, She's Got the Garden, which just a really great song, like funny lyrics on it, like again it just comes across really well live. And then the main set finished with a run of 4 classic Beautiful South songs. So we've got Don't Marry Her, which worked really well, Good as Gold, Stupid as Mud, one of my favourite Beautiful South songs. Again, the crowd just like into that song, like singing that the Carry On Regardless bit, it just works really well. And then they've done A Little Time, which have kind of like rearranged like for like Paul and Jacqui, because of course like the original version that wasn't sung by either of them. Like, so like they have sort of like changed it like around a bit. Like, however, I do quite like their new version of it. And then the main set finished with Perfect 10, which like a classic song. Like again, like got like the crowd like singing along like really well. So that's what closed the main set. And then for the encore, he came on and done Paul solo, like done his song Poems, which also made it onto The Last King of Pop. Like, of course, probably the most obscure song like off like the night. I would say it was from one of his solo records he made just after the Beautiful South broke up, and it is a lovely song, I think. Again, maybe not quite so like top draw like encore material, like, but a nice, pleasant song though. And then we got classic Happy Hour, probably Heaton's most well-known song. I would say like from the House Martins days. Again, just got like the crowd like up and dancing like on that one. And then You Keep It All In, again another Beautiful South like classic single there. And then they came off and then came back on again for another encore, which consisted of a Song for Whoever, which was quite an interesting choice because Jacqui Abbott actually handled the lead vocals on this, because of course the single version was sung by Dave Hemingway. Like, you see, does a really great job of this. Like, certainly like giving Hemingway like a run for like his money, like in terms of like the vocal like performance that she does. Like, she sang it really well. And then the concert finished with that unreleased song, which Heaton said like would never be released. Like, it was just for like these concerts. It is called The Last King of Pop, and it is a good song. Again, maybe it is a very bold choice to finish a concert with a song which nobody like in the audience knew. Like, however, it did round off the concert really nice. It sort of like gave it some sort of like conclusion like to like the whole event. So 24 songs there. Absolutely killer set list, I have to say. So I thought it was a really wonderful concert. I'm so glad that I did cave in, like get tickets for it. Heaton is a fantastic performer. Like, again, like unlike a lot of like his like contemporaries who tend to just sort of like get on like with performing like with like minimal chit chat, like thinking of like Paul Weller or like Jeff Lynne, like even in that. Like, Heaton really sort of like talked like and interacted like with the audience, like engaged like with like the audience, which made the concert like a lot more so like it felt a lot more like intimate, like, and like a lot more personal, like I thought, as well as like so like it was just a great atmosphere like in like the venue, like again like quite a large venue like for like Heaton and Abbott, but the crowd seemed really attached like to like the songs, definitely like proving that he is one of the country's best loved songwriters. So that's been my concert review of Paul Heaton and Jacqui Abbott. Definitely would go and see them again, like if like they played like a smaller venue, like hopefully next year, like he might do like a more like extensive like UK tour. Like, as it is, these are the only dates that he was doing this year. So I hope you have enjoyed this review, and I will see you all next time for the next video. Goodbye.
Well, I'm in charge. I can work this thing on top.